Forky asks a question. What is a family? Hey, it's Forky here, and I have another question today. What is family? To help me answer the question today is this camera here. The other day, Buttercup was telling me that this camera takes pictures of families, so this camera should know all about families. Forky turns to the camera and asks, Hey camera, what is family? The camera does not answer. Forky is confused as to why the camera is not responding. Mr. Potato Head overhears Forky and comes up to talk to him. Hey Forky, I'm sorry to say this, but your camera friend there doesn't talk, replies Mr. Potato Head. Oh, well that's weird, Forky responds awkwardly. What kind of question do you have today, Forky? Mr. Potato Head reluctantly asks. What is family? Forky asks Mr. Potato Head. Don't you mean what is a family? Mr. Potato Head says. Yeah, Forky responds. Okay, well a family is a unit that consists of a husband and a wife. When a husband and a wife have children, they are called mothers and fathers. For example, Bonnie has a mother and a father. Does that mean that Bonnie has a family? Forky questions. Yes, that is correct. Bonnie has a father and a mother who love her and take care of her, said Mr. Potato Head. What does a father do, says Forky. Mr. Potato Head explains that fathers usually work to help provide for the family. They make plans for the family. They are considered the leaders and protectors of the family. Did you know that fathers make a fundamental difference in parenting across generations? Fathers who involve themselves and connect with young children facilitate greater cognitive development, increase social competence, and empathy towards others. Mr. Potato Head taught Forky. Wow, that's amazing, Forky explained. Mr. Potato Head, you said that families consist of fathers and husbands, Forky clarified. That is true, Forky. You can be a husband and a father in a family. I am a husband to Mrs. Potato Head, said Mr. Potato Head. What does a husband do? Forky questioned. Mr. Potato Head explains to Forky that husbands have a lot of responsibilities. A husband helps protect and love their wife. Husbands make sure that everyone is taken care of. He also explains to Forky that he makes sure that they have enough money. I do these things for Mrs. Potato Head because she is my wife and a mother and I love her, Mr. Potato Head proudly proclaims. Mrs. Potato Head comes over to Mr. Potato Head and gives him a big hug and kiss. So if she is a mother and you are a father, Forky questions. Yes, I am. And when a husband and mother have children, they are called parents. Together, Mrs. Potato Head and I have 3 children, says Mr. Potato Head. Mrs. Potato Head calls for the aliens to come over. Come here, babies! The aliens come running swiftly over to Mrs. Potato Head and Forky with excitement. They gather around Mrs. Potato Head and jump for joy, shouting, Mom, you have saved our lives. We are eternally grateful, chant the aliens. That's so adorable, exclaims Mrs. Potato Head. Oh my, those are really green potatoes, Forky says with a baffling expression. They aren't potatoes, you nitwit, Mr. Potato Head says in irritation. They are aliens. Mrs. Potato Head calmly responds, We found them. Sometimes families do not seem like they fit together, but they do. The aliens do have a family. So we adopted them. We became their parents. Mrs. Potato Head says while grinning from ear to ear. What does it mean to adopt them? Forky asked with a puzzling expression. To adopt someone means to take care of them and to call them your own, stated Mrs. Potato Head. Having a secure, nurturing, and consistent relationship with both a father and a mother is essential to a child's well-being. Adoption is an unselfish, loving decision that blesses a child. Birth parents and adoptive parents in this life, said Mrs. Potato Head. That is so beautiful. The aliens are so lucky to have a mother like you. Oh, that reminds me. What does a mother do? Forky inquires. A mother takes care of her children. Mothers make you feel warm and fuzzy. They make you feel safe. They make you feel better when you are sad, Mrs. Potato Head responds. As Mrs. Potato Head teaches Forky about mothers, his face lights up with excitement. He then joyfully states, Trash makes me feel safe. It makes me feel happy and it keeps me warm. My mother is trash, exclaimed Forky. Before they could stop him, Forky jumps into the trash can. They find Forky looking jovial while snuggling the trash. Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head explained to Forky that though trash makes him happy, Forky was created by Bonnie and so he does not have a mother. Mothers are always by your side. They help you become a better person. They are very important people and they do so many amazing things and important things for us, says Mrs. Potato Head. Mrs. Potato Head explains to Forky that mothers help us feel loved and appreciated. Mothers also make sure that the children are well taken care of and that things are organized and true to a good schedule. Forky, did you know that mothers alone become the primary socializers, educators, and caregivers of their children? Through such sacrificing love, a mother creates a foundation from which self-confidence and integrity are woven into the fabric of their children's character, Mrs. Potato Head told in a sophisticated tone. The key is to parent your children with love, patience, reassurance, and understanding, shared Mrs. Potato Head like she was telling Forky a secret. Righteous parenting emphasizes clarity, charity, gentleness, kindness, long-suffering, persuasion, and appropriate discipline in a warm and nurturing relationship. Every child is entitled to grow in a home where there is warm and secure companionship, where there is love in the family relationship, where appreciation one for another is taught, said Mrs. Potato Head. Wow, I did not know that being a parent was a very important job. Cannot imagine being in a family without love. That would be sad, Forky said with a diminishing smile. It would, wouldn't it, Forky? Mrs. Potato Head agreed. Forky became confused. Wait a minute. If a mother takes care of children, who does a wife take care of? Forky wondered. Mrs. Potato Head replied, a wife takes care of her husband. Mr. Potato Head, as my husband, also takes care of me. Sometimes being a husband and a wife can be difficult, but we have each other to make it easier. Do you like being a mom and a wife? Forky questioned. I love it, exclaimed Mrs. Potato Head. Do you wish sometimes that you were a husband or a father instead? They can do lots of other cool things, Forky asked with excitement. Mrs. Potato Head chuckled. It doesn't work like that, Forky. Mothers are girls and fathers are boys. I do not wish I were something or someone else, because mothers, wives, fathers, and husbands all do amazing things. They are different, but they are equal, exclaimed Mrs. Potato Head. Actually, research has demonstrated that couples who have an equal partnership have happier relationships, better well-being, more effective parenting practices, and better functioning children. Mrs. Potato Head spoke profoundly. You and Mr. Potato Head do different things, but you work together like a team, maybe even like a baseball team. Who is the batter and who is the pitcher? Forky said joyfully. Marriage is a great team to be a part of. It's not always easy, and we are not a baseball team, but being a part of a family is fun and it is worth it, Mrs. Potato Head stated proudly. When family members work together in the right spirit, a foundation of caring and commitment grows out of their shared experience. The most ordinary tasks like fixing meals or doing laundry hold great potential for connecting us to those we serve and with whom we serve, Mrs. Potato Head continued. So what are you saying is that people and families have to work hard, but when they do, they feel more loved and connected? Said Forky, searching for clarity. With pride, Miss Potato Head responded, You got it. Isn't it amazing? Being in a family seems like fun, Forky proclaimed. It sure is. A couple voices shouted in unison. Forky looked around, unsure of where the noise was coming from. Just then, a green pea pod rolled next to Forky. The pod unzipped, and out popped the 3 peas in a pod siblings. Surprise! The siblings exclaimed. Oh, hey, Peas. What are some fun things that you do as a family? Forky asked. I like to go to the park and roll down the slide, one pea said. I love to go camping and float in the lake, another pea chimed in. I like to practice reading with my brothers, the last one replied. Dolly, the leader of Bonnie Toys, walks over to see why the peas in a pod siblings are so happy. What is all the excitement about? Dolly questioned. Forky wants to know what fun things we like to do as a family, one of the peas responded. Does Bonnie like to spend time with her family? Forky asked. You know, Forky, Bonnie does lots of fun things with her family, Dolly responded. She does? Forky answered. Remember when Bonnie and her family went on a road trip in the RV to the carnival? She questioned. Forky started to chuckle. Yes, I remember. I was on door duty at the carnival. Forky chuckled some more. Bonnie's parents were really confused. Up, down, up, down. That was so much fun. Bonnie really enjoyed that trip, Forky said with delight. That's right, Forky. Bonnie and her parents went and did something fun together as a family. Spending lots of time together as a family is very important. It makes everyone happy and it helps everyone come closer as a family, Dolly said profoundly. In fact, research shows that when families take the time and make the effort to go hiking, camping, and backpacking, and engage in other outdoor pursuits, they learn to cope with new and diverse environments as a family. These types of wholesome recreational experiences promote family members' beliefs and their ability to resolve conflicts at home and communicate better, Dolly said. I didn't know that having fun with your family was also important. We should go on road trips all the time, Forky said with a chuckle. Woody has been on many family trips, more than any of the other toys here. I sure have, Woody says while walking out of the closet. Woody asked Forky with curiosity, Hey Forky, what have you been up to today? I've been learning all about the family. Hey Woody, do you have a family? Is Bullseye your son? Do you have a wife? If so, where did you find her? Forky questioned Woody with excitement. Whoa, slow down, Forky, Woody said with a chuckle. For starters, Bullseye is not my son. He is a horse. He is my trusty steed and my friend. He cannot be my son. Also, you cannot have a family just by looking around. You create a family, Woody replied. Oh, okay. How do you create a family? Forky wondered. You create it with someone whom you love. You learned about love. You spoke with Cheryl Burnett, Millicent Brooks, Carl Rhinoceros, and Biddy White about what love was. Do you remember that? Woody asked. Oh, yeah. It was boring at first, but then it got really interesting, Forky said with excitement. With the family, you cannot create it by yourself. When you get married, you create a family with someone else. You become a husband, and the person you love becomes a wife. It is very special, Woody informed Forky with a sparkle in his eye and a smile on his face. Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head told me all about husbands and wives. It seems really fun, but a lot of hard work, Forky shared with Woody. Do you have a wife, Woody? Forky asked. No, said Woody. Do you have someone you love and want to be your wife? Forky started to blush. He starts to think of Bo Peep. Bo Peep is Woody's friend, whom he loves and admires. Woody dreams that Bo Peep will become his wife someday. Coming back from his wandering thoughts, Woody starts to stammer and is flustered in his response to Forky. Maybe, Forky, Woody says sheepily. But there are a lot of things you need to do to fall in love with someone. The more you do these things, the more you love someone, and the more someone can love you too, Woody continued. What kind of things do you need to do, Woody? Forky wondered. Well, you need to do nice things for them. You help make sure they are safe and secure. You want them to know that you care. You can give her flowers to help her be happy. You tell her what you like about her. Doing these things will help her see how you feel. Maybe in return she will feel the same way too, Woody answered. Woody continues, You know, Forky, true love is a process. True love requires personal action. Love must be continuing to be real. Love expresses itself throughout our emotions, beliefs, and behaviors. Mature love leads to success in marriage and family life. That sounds so amazing and poetic, Forky said with joy. Forky leaned against the bed to reflect on all that he was taught today by his friends. While he thinks, impromptu piano music starts playing. After his reflection, Forky says, You know, I think I understand now what it means to be a family. Families have husbands, fathers, wives, and mothers. They have children and the parents love each other. They both work hard to teach good things to their children. They tell them to not pick their nose, to watch where they are going, and to always say please and thank you. It might be a lot of hard work, but they always seem to be happy. They do lots of fun things together, like adopt alien children and go camping. I want to be able to go on adventures like Bonnie and her family, and also like Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head and their children. I want a family of my own. I want to find someone who can be my wife. I also want to be a husband so I can say, Love you, darling, Forky says with a grin and a sophisticated British accent. Woody replied, Well, you can, Forky, if you want to. Did you have someone in mind? Is there someone that you love? Just then, Bonnie's new toy, Knifey, turns the corner and starts making her way towards Forky. She had yellow yarn hair and a green sticky note dress on with sequins at the bottom. Her red lipstick and a blue wire necklace made her eyes stand out. Forky felt that he had turned to jello. Knifey was so beautiful. He could barely respond to Woody. He knew in that moment that he wanted to be with Knifey forever. Forky asked patiently, waiting for a response. Finally being able to reply to Woody, Forky said, And I think I just found someone. Forky still seemed somewhat aloof and distracted. When Knifey arrives next to Forky, she asks, Trash? No, you're not trash to me, Forky said in a dreamy tone. You are a toy. Bonnie made you. You look beautiful. She loves and cares about you a lot. In fact, I think I love you too. You make me happy the same way that trash makes me happy. I care about you a lot, and I want to make sure you are always safe, Forky replied. You do? Knifey questioned. Yes, I do. Without breaking her gaze, Forky asked Knifey, Do you want to be a part of my family? What is a family? Knifey questions Forky and says with a smile, Let me tell you all about it. The end.